Well, but I think in regards to this music industry being hard and difficult to get people to shows and stuff, I think that we're gonna see a shift soon with the younger people.
Yeah.
And this is completely anecdotal, but there is a club in a live music club in Sweden where there's like blues jams and jazz jams and stuff. And when I was there 10 years ago, it was only people over 50 there.
Yeah.
Now, every night, it's packed with people between 18 and 22. It's like a complete, it's like this new generation that has an appreciation for live music.
Yeah.
Which we haven't seen for a while. And
Yeah.
I think that's going to make an impact in a few years when those people start to make good money and can go to shows and all of that.
Yeah.
It's gonna
It's true.
something's gonna happen with that, I think.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, the what do you call it? Organic music is back without clicks and stuff and computers. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to be like this.
No, I got you. You know, it's interesting you say that, because I remember 27 years ago, I remember when I started the show, if you went to a heavy metal show, which over here, music really, it was kind of starting its little resurgence in Europe and stuff, that everybody would be in their 40s. Now, I was like 20, 21, 19, you know, getting into this stuff. But, you know, I always reference this because I remember when Hammerfall came out with their debut album, and it out of nowhere sold like 100,000 copies in Europe. And then I noticed that in the early days of the internet, the fan base of this music ended up getting younger. All these younger people out of nowhere, you know, bought that record and got into this stuff. And now all of those people are in their 40s like me. And, you know, now it's almost like a cycle, right?
Yeah.
I think almost everything's going to bottom out. And then once it bottoms out, it's just going to go up from there, because it's the only place it can go. But I think Sweden's different in a sense that, you know, I notice more bands, really good bands. Most of the newer bands that I encounter are usually from Sweden or Denmark or just Scandinavia in general. I don't know why that is, but you seem to have more bands that are actually creating really good stuff coming from that area as opposed to anywhere else. And maybe it's just a culture thing, I don't know. But I find that most of the newer metal bands that I deal with, say that came out with the last 10, 15, maybe 20 years, are all coming from your area. And I don't know, maybe you can shed some light on that, because it's just, I get this new band. Oh, this band sounds great. And I look, they're from Sweden. They're from Denmark. They're from Sweden. They're from, maybe they might be from Finland. It's just that area.
Yeah, talking from Sweden, we have a state-subsidized music teaching or music schools. So it's really popular, and it's very cheap to take guitar lessons. You pay, what, $60 per semester or something to get guitar lessons. And a lot of people start their bands out of those music schools.
Right.
And I think in general, I think that's one answer to it. But then I also think that the melodic tradition of Swedish pop music, like ABBA, for example,
Or Europe.
In Europe, of course, I think that melodic,
Rocksteady and Cardigans. And,
that's a tradition that spills over to the hard rock and metal, which gives it a special sound. And I've always thought about Finland for the same reason, because Finnish metal has they have the best melodies.
Yeah.
And I was thinking maybe that has something to do with like the Finnish tango or something, which I love, by the way. Something with melodic, specific melodic traditions from this area that might have something to do with it. It's
we also have the study circles.
The study circles also.
That you learn better from your friends than from a teacher thing. And then if you're three people having a group, any kind of group, like music group or whatever. You get funds from the government to develop that, and you can rent a rehearsal room for free, or even they even have like government kind of managers. I was one for over 10 years.
Okay.
So I had 35 bands I took care of and booked gigs for in the name of the government.
Yeah.
So that's a Swedish thing as well that helps, I think.
Yeah.
But it's worse nowadays because we also have a shift in politics like everywhere else right now. So it's getting worse. They take away the funds right now, which is scary.
Yeah. It's interesting you talked about booking bands. I think that you're not only getting an education with music, but you're learning the business side of things as well. And I think that helps because I'll be honest with you, the people in their knowledge of how the business side of things work or should work, there's a lot less of that. The competency when it comes to that, as I'll say, is not what it once was. And so I think what you're talking about too, you're not only learning how to play, you're learning how to write songs, you're learning different kinds of melodies.
How to arrange a gig, even promoters.
Exactly. And you're able and you're learning how to do the business side of things, which I could tell you there's nothing over here like that. I mean, nobody
you could get help doing what you do right now if you were in Sweden. You can have a free podcast room and everything.
That's interesting. And I think from just those areas, I think that's a big reason as to why there's so many really good bands and musicians coming from there.
People can also take a leap of faith much easier and try out because a lot of things are much cheaper in Sweden when you're a youth. So up to you're 25, you get discounts, you get special apartments that you can rent. Yeah, that's a different story because housing everywhere is fucked, but you know what I mean?
Same here.
Yeah, I've heard. I'm on TikTok. But I think that you have a lot of advantages when you're in your early 20s living here and having the opportunity to dare to try out a different lifestyle.
Absolutely. Maybe. I think so.
Hey everybody, Tony here from the Metal Command podcast. Again, I appreciate your support. Since 1998, I have hosted this show in one form or another, starting off in radio and now in the podcast format. Again, thanks for watching, and if you like what you see and hear on this show, by all means, please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to be notified anytime I do post a video, and if you see this program on any other form of social media, please give me a follow there. Again, I always appreciate your support.